really moved and honored to be here with you. I want to thank the leadership of the Saigon International University as well as my friend Nguyen and Tuan, and of course you, all the students of these impressive institutions. Thank you for having me. I was asked to tell you a little bit about Israel as a kind of creative society which is leading in many aspects of high-tech and startup operations. And I can just tell you that, like in many other ways of life, in Israel, necessity is the mother of creativity. We were born about the time that modern Vietnam was born. You were born 45, I believe. We were born 48. And we also were born into a war. We did not have so many wars and so many tough wars as you had, but we had some 7 wars and 2 intifadas and many operations in between along 75 years. When we were born directly into a war, we found a kind of almost tragic circumstances. We had been embargoed by most of the world. We couldn't buy even the weapons that we needed in order to protect ourselves. And we will survive the test by just the fighting spirit of the people. Exactly what had happened to you. To survive both the Civil War, then you defeated the French Empire, then you defeated the American Empire, and in between showed a great fighting spirit. We had the same. And because we couldn't buy anything, we had to produce weapons and advanced technologies for ourselves. We called upon to help us Jewish scientists and engineers from other places in the world. And we established basically the first research university even before the state of Israel was born. We understood that being a people with a long history, tradition of studying from very early age, that knowledge and science will be on our side. So the first kind of incubator for startup, for high-tech operation were born under the umbrellas of the defense budget and defense services. We had the Research Institute for the Defense Establishment named Rafael, where most of the leading professors of science were kind of certain contact with them, and we established very quickly research universities. At the beginning, 2, now we have 7 research universities, meaning universities which are big. We have a big, very strong scientific force. Mathematics, physics, electronics, astrophysics, space, aeronautics, and nanotechnology, everything. Each big university has a commercial company, side by side with the university, where the professors, when they have a good idea about startup, they can open certain startups under the umbrella university and got some of the benefits, because salaries of professors are modest. But when you become to contribute with your mind and skills into the industry, you get stronger. We now have in Israel, Israel is about the size of Saigon, a little bit smaller in population. But we have, just in Israel, we have now 350,000 students, and about 1/4 of them, because of the success of the startup industry, are going to study science and engineering. 1 in 4. And that's very, very good. We started in order to be able to tackle the challenge of developing of weapons and technology for defense. We brought into one big hall some 45 years ago. Israel was by then probably 3 million people. We brought together all the high school leaders and the principal of the high school together with the science teacher, best science teacher, and asked them to bring us from each school the 2 or 4 or 6 at most best students in science, in mathematics and sciences. And it ended up, we had at the time 1,500 high schools in the country, so we brought some 10,000 young students, the best, each one of them, one of the 4 best students in the whole school. From the 11th and 2nd grade, still high school. And we made a special program for them through the university. 400 of them were selected to be the best of the best and became students in spatial trajectory. And the 40 best out of the 400 best, out of the 10,000 best students in the country, we put them directly into university with a good professor in sciences, mentor to each one of them. Each professor got 4 of them to educate them. They got 2 degrees within 3 years. One in science, the other either science or philosophy or something like this. So some of them take computer science and mathematics, other 2 philosophy and physics and the like. And then they served for 6 years. So altogether almost 10 years, 6 years in the research labs of the defense establishment under the best scientists once again. So they first of all, they contributed a lot to our own defense industry. But at the same time, when they came out, they were just 29, 28, most of them second degree, some of them also already completed PhD in sciences. They became the power engine behind Israel becoming a startup nation. That's the way that our threat from the outside created creativity and innovation, both in how to choose the best of the best and put them under the best condition, best opportunity to become a successful scientist. And it became Israel tens of thousands of startups, tens of thousands. Just, I checked for some reason what happens in the medical devices, which has nothing to do with weapons and defense. Only in medical devices, there are by now almost 1,500 different startups in Israel looking for approval from the FDA in America, from the European equivalent places, and making Israel dramatically moving forward. And I can tell you from watching this process many years, having myself background I was a student of physics and mathematics in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, then made a second degree in the engineering school at Stanford University in America. And I follow very closely the real power of Israel. We don't have oil. Recently we had some gas, but we usually didn't have oil. We don't have mines. We are a very small country. We cannot be rich on any natural resources. But we are rich with the most important resource, which is the gray material between the ears of young students like you. And I can tell you from my experience, the youth is the future of a country. The future of Israel are those over 1 million students that completed in the last 4 years. And 250,000 are in sciences, in engineering. And this is the future, and the same applies to here. You are here in the balcony, not the first row, the second and to the last row over there. You are the future of Vietnam. It all depends on you. I cannot promise each and every one of you that you will be successful, but many of you could be successful. There is no ceiling, no limit. The sky is the limit. Dare to dream. Don't hesitate to dream big, to think big of yourself, and many of you will be able to complete it. In Israel, we ended up with starting to produce Nobel laureates in sciences. Almost every big university has 2 or 3 laureates of Nobel Prizes in sciences in the recent 15 years. They became national heroes, each one of them, in his arena, give example and create encouragement for youngsters to dare to dream. And in science it's all about being non-conformist. The real success in science comes when a young student, usually in science is younger than 26 years old, he already possessed everyone that we know, from Plato to Newton to Einstein or this generation scientists, and he does not accept whatever comes in. He has another idea, another interpretation, and he dares to try it, and suddenly, in science, every theory, even the ruling theories, are temporary. They are there until a new theory comes and solves certain contradictions that the present theories could not solve. And it's all about daring. So we in Israel highly encourage brainstorming, thinking together, but with no hierarchy in thinking. There should be hierarchy in execution. You cannot execute if there is no someone who leads and others who follow and contribute. But in thinking, in brainstorming, each young student, each and every young student is as good as his professor. I spent most of my life in uniform as a general, and I remember every young soldier could always, when we are just thinking what to do, to question the judgment of his colonel or even of his general. When it comes to action, we need action in unity. But when we are thinking, each one of us is equal. So don't hesitate to question the judgment of your colleagues and even of your teachers, as long as you do it in a civilized manner. And it's only when it's about thinking. When action is needed, the secret is the opposite, to act united. So if I have to give you a message, there is nothing really magical about the Jewish people or the Israelis. We are all normal, millimeter underneath the surface. We are all equal, the same. We have to give each and everyone an opportunity and to have a united spirit of letting use together the gifts that God gave to each and every one of you. Thank you very much, and I wish you all success in the university and later on in life.